without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring up the incredible Professor Akeisha Al-Shabazz. What it do? What it do?
What's good, Dennis? Thank you for the introduction. I am actually a law school professor. How about that?
Yeah, yes, you are. You are the law professor.
Right.
You don't be playing with the people. You ain't out here doing that crazy.
Not at all. Not at
You've
all.
known me for a while, and you know I be on my business. I don't play those games.
Yes. And I'm here to ask the questions that the people want the answers to, Dennis. Absolutely. What the hell happened? So everyone was watching the updates on the YSL trial, waiting to find out who took a plea, who didn't take a plea. When the judge took the bench and called you and Miss Sylvia up and began to reprimand you all for purportedly recording in violation of your Rule 22. What say you?
I am innocent. I've been falsely accused, and I've been defamed.
Oh, the shame of it! The shame of it.
Yes.
So after our conversations and looking through the internet, a lot of people believe that this reprimand was a result of the photograph you took of Thug with the "I Love Mariah" shirt on. Right. Is that true? Can we debunk this?
Oh, we can definitely debunk it.
Okay.
And I can tell you that I received a phone call from the court official, from the security, that gave me the permission to take the photo. They said to me this morning that we talked to the staff attorney, Lara Percival, right, and told her that we gave him the permission to take that picture.
Okay. So this is likely not a result of that photograph.
Absolutely. She said recording.
Right.
It's a distinction between a still photo and a recording.
Now, she reduced this order to a writing, did she not?
She absolutely did. And
would you be so kind? Would you be so kind to share it with the people?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Share it with the people.
Yes, the people have to see this, and I want you to break this down for the people.
Let it be broke. What's up, family? I ain't say hi to the folks. What's up, Susie? What's up, Barcelona? Galatians? Wigs and Wine? What's up, baby? What's up, Fee? Kish? I love saying my own name. So here's the order.
Yes.
Here's the order. All right, let's get into it. I needed to bring the glasses. You gonna read it, Dennis?
No, I'm gonna let you read it. I want you.
Okay. You didn't tell me I was gonna be reading. I would have brought. I got 2 pairs of it.
Well, let me read it then.
No, I'll read it.
Okay.
The court, having received information and confirmed recording of proceedings in the above style trial in violation of Uniform Superior Court Rule 22 by Dennis Byron / Hip Hop Inquirer magazine, specifically a violation of Rule 22J, I think that's 1, which prohibits the use of recording devices while the judge is outside the courtroom. In addition to other issues, somebody didn't proofread this shit.
Yes.
I can't stand typos. I fucking swear.
Not coming from an order.
Come on, this is an official court document. Y'all could have proofread, which prohibits the use of recording devices while the judge is outside the courtroom. In addition to other issues with Dennis Byron Hip Hop Inquirer magazine connected to recording in the courtroom. So that is levying an allegation that there has been past conduct which has violated this Rule 22J1. What say you before we go further? Has there been past conduct? Have you ever been put on notice by this court or any other court that you have been in violation of the Rule 22?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And if that had happened, in particular this court, well, no other court has ever happened, but in particular this court, why wouldn't that be in writing, said in court, or told to me? Why would I be the last person to know about this? It's never happened.
So you've never had a warning. You've never had any infraction whatsoever that you could recall that might fit the definition of a violation of Rule 22?
None.
So this is, in other words, some old bullshit.
Some bullshit.
some straight bullshit. All right, let's go further. It is hereby ordered. So that is the factual portion of the order. The rest is the actual order. It is hereby ordered that from the date of this order and continuing from the duration of the trial in the above style case, that Dennis Byron Hip Hop Inquirer magazine is no longer permitted to bring electronic devices into the courtroom and is prohibited from recording in any manner in the courtroom. Dennis Byron Hip Hop Inquirer magazine is permitted to be present in the courtroom, but only without electronic devices. Now, before I go any further, let's finish it and then let's talk about how this impacts your work. Absolutely. Dennis Byron Hip Hop Inquirer magazine is permitted access to the media room. No, I want to break this up because the media room is separate, and I want you to explain to people what the media room is. So let's just stop at this paragraph and tell me if the court stands by this order and it prohibits your ability to record or just to bring in electronic devices to assist you in doing your job as a journalist and not a YouTuber, how would that impact your ability to do your job?
Well, for those who know my work, I use a camera and I use a laptop and or phone to live tweet, which I've done throughout this trial, and also to take notes and to keep a record, visual as well as audio record of the proceedings. So that would greatly impact my coverage in this trial. In addition, you put me you asked me to do recording in the media room. What am I recording? Walls?
Yeah, that's the next portion. So for those of us who are not familiar with the media room, so this says Dennis Byron Hip Hop Inquirer magazine is permitted access to the media room and is permitted electronic recording devices and may record only from the media room. Any recording from the media room must comply with all provisions of Rule 22. Further violations may result in complete revocation of recording privileges. So explain to us what is the media room? How is it set up? And what type of recording could you do from the media room?
A recording? I mean, we're in a private room. We're in the room. We can talk on our phones. We can, record. I can do interviews in the room.
Do you have access to the live trial? Can you record anything from the media room of the live trial?
Yeah, if I put in a stream box in the media room, then I can capture the stream if I'm in the media room. Well, how about this? I don't need to be in the media room. I could be right in this room right here.
You could be home doing that, right?
Do the same thing. So this effectively is a revocation of my privileges. It's not they're making a concession. Well, I can come in the courtroom. The courtroom is a public courtroom, so I can sit in the courtroom. So what are you really telling me?
Right.
This is like word salad, and you let it all twisted up.
We'll let you come back in like the rest of everyone else, which is the whole purpose of the Rule 22 is so that you as a journalist would be set apart from your everyday layperson. No.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I just want to make sure that's clear for people, because
some people think,
what's wrong with you doing what we do?
Well, let's say this.
I get some privileges too, but
quote unquote regular person is there watching the trial. Me as the reporter in the courtroom is not only watching the trial but communicating what's happening to millions of people.
Right. That's so you're allowed to have your phone out. You're allowed to have your laptop out, whereas someone from the public would not be allowed to do those things.
Absolutely, because they take the public's phones when they go in. So you're giving me permission to do something that I would be entitled to do anyway. So that's
but we want to understand the breadth of this order, right? So it's allowing you to be there, but it's not even allowing you to be there with your phone. Is that my understanding? Because that's what it seems like. No, you can't bring any electronic devices in. Right. That would include your telephone and or laptop. No,
absolutely. And but before we even go into what I can't do, let's talk about what was alleged that I've done. You've claimed that there's recordings, but you haven't produced anything Where's the proof that I did anything? Why didn't this even be the first thing you asked? Why don't you ask that you do this? Here's some proof this happened on this date. Give me something to. How do you appeal something like this when it's
vague? It's vague.
Vague.
It's vague and it's ambiguous. And there's no specificity as to the allegations you're saying, right? There's no way for you to be on notice as to the exact nature of what they claim you violated. Exactly when did it happen? How did it happen? Who witnessed it? And what evidence do you have of the thing?
The who, what, when, where, why, and how. That's what I need. When you tell me that, this appears to be intentional, and it appears that it was done to exclude a member of the press for no other reason, especially in light of the fact that the superior that told me, what she said earlier today, she said that we have nothing, we have no proof, we have no evidence that you've done that when the judge is off the bench. If the superiors in the court is telling me this, then what is the judge talking about?
Now, when Brian Still got locked up, you saw the defense bar come down and rally around that man. Have you heard from other journalists? Are they ready to rally around you in the name of the First Amendment and the right of free
the phone calls that I got right afterwards, first of all, they're confused. They want to know what this judge is, what is this judge on? What happened? Then they want to know what's the backstory. Have I been sanctioned for recording or anything like that in the past? I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No judge in that courthouse in over 20 plus years. That's never happened.
I don't want to minimize the impact of this because you work in that building.
Absolutely.
And to be labeled a Rule 22 rule breaker,
the rule breaker,
would bring, I think a great deal of suspicion of judges as you walk into their courtroom. They're like, oh, there he is. Right?
Is he recording us?
Right.
Is he doing? Is he breaking the Rule 22? I'm like,
so Fonnie wants the order of mendacity to follow you.
Absolutely.
No,
hold on. And I can only this is speculation. I did tweet out a photo of the judge and Fonnie Willis. It was a photo that was online.
Right.
And I also took a photo of the Sergeant Ingram, and every time he looks at me, he gives me that screw face look, and I had to say, sir, you look at me, and I said to him, I said, I know you were. I said to him yesterday, I said, I know you're responsible for this. He said, no, I'm not.
And all the pictures that you're talking about right now, you took in they were not taken in violation of any rules.
Absolutely not.
Just to make sure, because you know how people are.
Oh no! Every picture I took in that courtroom, it was in accordance with the Rule 22. Even the picture of Sergeant Ingram, hey Sergeant, and the picture of the Judge Whitaker, and all others in that courtroom. So, but you're saying recordings,
right? Multiple. Past and present.
Right. So she intentionally said that. And now think about this. This is a judge knowing that there were a lot of people waiting for the start of this proceeding yesterday.
Right.
She knew that. She knew what was happening online. She saw it had 60, 70,000 people watching. She knew it was the impact of what she did on that bench, and it was intentional.
Right. So the next question people will say is, then why didn't you respond when she brought you up?
It's hard to respond to a close-in statement and she making the ruling. So my position is that let me regroup and let me consult with legal minds to have a better approach in dealing with this and not have a knee-jerk reaction, because people say, you should have said something like the other person. No.
And so now that you've had an opportunity to respond and reflect and consult with legal minds, what is your next step? What is your recourse? What is your plan of attack? What is your get back, Dennis?
The get back is, we had the letter. We had the first letter shot out this morning.
Okay.
The first letter went out this morning. I think I gave you the opportunity to read what was said.
Yes.
And I think that was pretty effective for the first shot over the bow. What do you think?
Right. I think it was effective. And basically, if you don't mind me sharing, the gist of it was that the judge was wrong in her assessment. Her information was incorrect, inaccurate, and that you basically are entitled to a hearing before some sort of due process before the judge could make these findings. So, did I sum that up?
You summed it up very well.
Okay.
And I liken myself, like you said, to Brian Still, how he, like, who told you?
Right.
No man who told me, did you do it?
Right.
Like, show me the proof.
Right.
Show me the proof.
Right.
If there's communication, if there's some type of ex parte communication that you had with others, show them, produce them.
Right.
Bring the proof. Don't just
let me be confronted with the witnesses against me.
And this is a RICO case where defendants are fighting for their life. And if this is how you deal with a non-party in the case, how you deal with the parties in the case?
Well, we see how she's dealing with the parties.
We know this, but I just want to echo that. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the judge a little like sideways, Judge. You came across to be fair, but this right here, it's like no. And then she says, confirmed. She said, and we confirmed. How did you confirm?
Right.
When she said,
court having received information and confirmed the recording of proceedings.
Right.
Really?
But when she said that, ladies and gentlemen, it was someone else to my right that I can just say this. The superior said that, we confirmed that she has videos. We have none of you. She said this this morning. We confirmed that she has videos out there. There was recorded.
So my question is this, right? They got Sylvia. I wonder if she has the exact same order, word for word, verbatim.
I mean, this could be a boilerplate for both of us. I mean,
except for the names being changed. Except for the names being changed. Is this is this the exact same allegation? Because if that's the case, maybe she's conflating, right? Maybe she's confused, or maybe she's using this as an excuse to get you out of the courtroom.
I think the latter, man.
Right. I'm giving every possible, benefit of the doubt.
Let me ask you a question. Well, and you made a good point earlier. I limited it to the officers in the courtroom, but who would be the other individuals that could have said this was happening?
Prosecutors. The prosecutors.
Right.
They're not too pleased about your presence.
Right. No, they're not. They don't. It started out, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Love was speaking. Good morning. How you doing? When the first trial started, November 27th. As we hear today, she doesn't even give me one of those. Like, what?
Don't even get the head nod.
Miss Hilton, she gets, but she doesn't even do that. So, and I get it. She's getting pressure from all over. If she can if she could touch the commenters and the YouTubers who are reporting this all over the United States and around the world, she would love to touch him. But I'm sure
she would.
I'm easy pickings.
She could touch you.
She could touch me. Yeah.
Consider yourself touched.
Yes.
How you feel?
Well, it's a first, ladies and gentlemen. This is a first.
It's a first.
And this was intentional. What she said on the bench was intentional, and what she put in writing was intentional. She emphasized my brand as well as myself, and I think it was a personal attack. And unless you can show me, because we're going to appeal this, obviously.
Right.
Appeal this. If not for nothing, nothing for nothing. If I don't come back in there ever, this still has to be straightened.
It has to be straightened. You have a reputation, right? There's life after the YSL trial. There are other trials.
And the difference between her and I was doing media before she was a judge. I was doing media probably before she was a lawyer. So when you take a shot, I don't know how old she is, but you take a shot at me like this is a personal attack. This is a personal attack. And
Gandhi said Sylvia has the same order. Yeah. So the received information is not even individualized. The allegations, right?
It's a catch-all.
They're not particularized. They're not individualized.
It's not individualized and it's not particularized. Actually, absolutely. And this is a catch-all. Let me catch these two. Bring the two. I have to go there, ladies and gentlemen. Bring the two black people. The only two black people recording besides Maurice, law and crime.
Are you two the only two black journalists there, or you're the only two journalists? Period.
Well, hold on.
I don't know. I'm asking. The people want to know.
I had to pause for a second. He said two journalists. One journalist on YouTube.
Okay, sorry. I'm not trying to disparage anyone. I am not. Nope, not going to be Megan Cuniff today.
Oh my goodness. Independent journalist, yes.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Thank you, Monica Mo Justice. Appreciate you.
Monica Mo. Independent journalist. It was love. She knows who you are. Of course she knows.
Yeah, she definitely.
I mean, I got a picture of her boss all in Time magazine.
Yeah.
Her boss, I got a picture of boss in Time magazine sitting like this.
Yeah. You're probably not on anybody's Christmas list. You're not even on a Secret Santa. You're not. You ain't even.
So I want people to understand it. When I get these many calls, if I had no less than 20 calls yesterday after this happened, and I got your text while I was in the court. I'm looking at she's spanking me already. I'm still sitting there. I'm like, what the hell?
I'm gonna tell you in real time. I literally turned on the YSL trial just as the judge took the bench, and I was like, oh, my timing is impeccable. And I sat
a lot of people's time was impeccable.
2 minutes in, and she was like, Dennis Byron. I was like, oh shit.
What the? I was shocked. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I being
I grabbed my phone. I was like, I could not believe it. I was like, what? And of course, because the way she framed it, right, that it had been confirmed, I was like, what the fuck did Dennis do?
Right. That's what everyone wanted. What did I do? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, what did I do?
Right. And you didn't respond. She didn't give you an opportunity to respond. And I understand that in the moment, right? The magnitude of the moment where you have these defendants who are waiting to take a plea.
Absolutely.
Which is going to impact not only them, but their families who are also sitting in the courtroom.
Absolutely.
And the hundreds of thousands or not millions of people waiting on various streams for this to go down.
Yes.
I understand that there may have been some pressure for you to be like, let me get the fuck up out the way.
Absolutely.
Let these people go ahead and do the business of the court. And I can deal with this later.
I didn't want to, while she made it about me in the beginning, I didn't want to echo that because first of all, I wasn't giving her no sound bites. Yeah. I wasn't giving sound bites. I let the lawyers take care of that. I don't want to give you sound bites. I know you had your sound bite. You felt you got that off. I get it, but it's my time. You control the phone.
You know the keyboard warriors are, well, if it was me, it's always the if it was me police, but you never know how you're going to respond in the moment.
Right.
When something happens that takes you aback, sometimes that forces you into silence. Right.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's better for you to sit and properly evaluate so you can respond than to react.
Absolutely.
Right. So your response now will be measured. Right. And of course, because that was my next question. How much time before you gonna go to the chief judge of this court?
Well, the chief judge is landing, so we don't
oh God! Oh, never mind. Well, he might want some get back. He have to. Right.
Rest in peace, Kanye. Why do you say rest in peace, Kanye?
We've come full circle. Come on, stop it, Brian Martin.
What is he talking about?
Attack on true journalists. I don't know, but block him because I don't feel like I'm not. Don't do this with me right now.
Right. But what is that? Okay.
What?
Hold on a second. Let me see something. Let me just check something.
Oh God.
Let me see if he just trolling. If you trolling, man, we gonna.
He trolling. If he trolling, block his ass.
You don't play like that now.
This is not cool. That's not cool, Brian. Explain yourself. You got some explaining to do.
Yeah, we're gonna see what you're talking about.
Why is she making this false claim in question? I think finally, and Judge Page has an insider snitch.
When you get a snitch or something, you got to have something to snitch on. Like
yeah.
Hold on a second.
Oh, Ganja says she showed it. The names just changed, and that's again with the same typo too. With the same typo, the other.
Absolutely.
Where is it in the typo? The fourth line of this
It wasn't that the typo, it was grammatical.
To other issues. How many others you need in one sentence?
Right. It was just grammatically incorrect. Okay, so Brian, you gotta get put on timeout, man. You can't be doing that. Don't be hitting on RIP when you got a reporter and a lawyer on the line. Don't do that. I'm gonna put you on a timeout. You come back when you behave yourself. All right. Go ahead, Ike.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Right. So both got the same document, just the names have been changed. Okay. So yeah, we'll deal with it. But those who know my work know I don't. It's no need for me. First of all, it's no need for me.
Rumors of Kanye's death are false.
Oh, so others are saying that?
Yeah, there's some rumors going around, apparently. But this is not new. So there's been rumors. I guess they just keep coming up. 2 days ago, there were rumors that Kanye died. They are false and unfounded.
Oh my goodness.
2 days ago.
So Megan Thee Stallion has sued Milagro.
Who?
She sued Milagro Graham.
Milagro, the YouTuber?
Yes.
She sued her for what?
The story just got posted on TMZ, and it says Megan Thee Stallion is suing Milagro, suing a content creator for allegedly promoting falsehoods about her.
I'll be right back.
She is posting lies about Tory Lane's case and spreading deep fake porn. Deep fake porn? What the heck? The rapper filed a lawsuit against Milagro Elizabeth Cooper, an ex-user with nearly 30K followers, alleging she's routinely posted lies about Megan Thee Stallion while working as a mouthpiece for Lane's to promote a false narrative about shooting her. Among the untrue content Milagro has posted, according to Meg, a totally artificial video that the Stallion's lawyers claim shows Star engaged in sexual acts. They say the video has caused Megan severe emotional distress, reputational harm. And this has caused me emotional distress, Ike, and reputational harm. No, I'm talking about you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm sure it did, but judges have qualified immunity. So, that part.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, she's acting in her official capacity. She has qualified immunity. The immunity protects her from being liable unless she goes outside of her judicial functions.
Example.
It's like what the Supreme Court said about Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He is immune so long as what he is doing is an official act.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my redress would just to be for her to rescind and clarify.
Yes, absolutely. And apologize.
And apologize. Absolutely.
An apology would be really nice. An apology would be nice and appropriate, given the falsehood of these accusations.
So was I present when Miss Sylvia got the warning? No. Question 2, was you present when the judge stated that she's no longer let's see, let me see your question. Longer, your entire sentence didn't come out over here, so I don't know what that means. Okay. So I wasn't there when she got I wasn't in court when that happened. Actually, I was never in court when she got sanctioned by the court. And I would say, no, I'm not gonna say this because people say, no, Mr. Byron, don't say that. But I just thought some of the commentary, even in that, was inappropriate. It had nothing to do with Darth. I'm about to put you out of here. So get over it. Don't tell me.
Now let's talk to Darth Vader. Pull him up. What do you do for a living, Darth Vader? Talk to us. Why do you think he should get over this already? I'd like to hear from you.
That's right. Should I drop the link in?
Yeah.
Let me drop the link in. I'm gonna drop
prepared to tell us what you do for a living.
Right. Let me drop the link in there for anyone who want to join this conversation, and you can talk about the case and what do you think the significance is, and how this will ultimately affect the coverage of the case. Anyone is invited here. I'm dropping the link here. I dropped the link. Oh, that's right. I forgot you was waiting there. KMB. I dropped the link. Okay. And I want y'all to come in and let's have this conversation. You know, let's don't be keyboard gangsters. Let's have a mature, respectful conversation. And you have an attorney here and a journalist here.
Darth Vader, you haven't been hearing about this for several days because it just happened yesterday. Didn't it happen yesterday?
Yes, it did. Because I've been hearing about this for several. Oh, you just trolling.
That's not possible. I don't think your audience really cares. But this is you're ill-informed. You haven't been hearing about this for several days. Let's just stop there.
It was 2. He said 2 days. It's been 2 days. You're lying now. It hasn't been 24 hours. What are you lying?
Right.
What are you talking about?
Yesterday morning. So we're just at the second day now. It's not 2 days solid. I don't know what calendar or clock you are on.
It's not 24 hours.
Right. We just hit 24 hours because it's 11 o'clock now. It's almost noon.
No. It happened at one something.
Oh, it was the afternoon. It wasn't morning.
No,
look at that. I don't even know what time it was. Yeah. Look, so it's not even. It hasn't even been 24 hours.
Now he says 1.5. 1.5 is not almost.
No, it hasn't been 24 hours.
Right. 1.5. Get at it. I dropped the link.
Is in the chat.
The link is in the chat. I need to. I'm a. Okay, so
Darth, what do you do for a living?
Right. She asked that question twice already.
Yeah, I have.
No. You don't have to be an attorney. You don't have to be an attorney.
When you ask somebody what they are and they tell you what they aren't.
I'm not an attorney. Right. She asked what you are.
That is a failure. You must be a really good communicator. I'm being very facetious when I say that.
I'm a commercial real estate owner and developer. Okay, so you have some common sense here. So
let's talk about that. You're a commercial real estate owner and developer. Would you say, Darth, that your reputation in the industry that you work is important?
It's a yes or no.
For instance, if I thought that you were a shady
contractor,
real estate guy who hired contractors who use substandard material, if I thought that of you, that was your reputation, do you think that would affect your ability to be effective? I think the answer is yes. So that's why we're spending time on this, because Dennis deserves at least a day or two, if not more, to defend his livelihood. That's all he's asking for. Absolutely. And I don't think that's a lot. And if it is, then just come back tomorrow. Right. And hopefully we'll have moved on. And hopefully we will have moved on.
And go touch some grass. Go ahead, go touch the grass. It's a world outside of the internet.
Right. Just kindness is free.
Politic Graham, what's up?
Naptown K, you want some of this smoke too? Dennis sound like he's crying. He should be crying. Dennis isn't entertaining at all unless he's with someone else. I'm new to your channel and thinks that you are way more entertaining than Dennis. Oh, but but we're on together right now.
Right, we together. Right?
And I get that. So Naptown, you could leave and come back when I'm on by myself, or if you're not going to contribute or have a question or even a criticism, I'm open for all of those things relevant to the subject.
Right.
Then please
skedaddle.
Bow out. Bow out.
We have politics. What's going on?
Hello, you guys. Hey. I just think I couldn't believe what I just saw.
What?
I could not believe that what you have posted.
Yes.
I'm just in complete awe. What is going on?
That's what I want to know. What shocks you about it?
No, because it just seems as if this whole thing is just chaotic. It's unorganized, and now we're trying to just blame anybody that comes into the room just doing their job.
And
This
that's
is
right.
your job. You are a reporter. This is
Absolutely.
your job. So what are we doing? The thing is, and I'm just going to be very just blunt. I'm not going to curse, but she needs to focus on if she's going to have a mistrial and stop playing these games,
Right.
because
Distraction.
she's pointing the finger at the wrong person, because you're not the one on trial. You're not the one that's detained. And the last I heard, you don't work for no district attorney office. Just being
Absolutely.
honest. So my prayers goes out to you. My prayers goes out to all of the co-defendants in this YSL case. It's just astounding. And I want to also add to this. I don't know if these plea deals are going to be a benefit to anybody, because the plea deal that Mr. Nichols made, I don't know if you guys talked about it.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, don't talk about it then.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Bust
You
it
just want the
open.
conversation.
Bust it open.
Well, the plea deal that Mr. Nichols made, I don't think that was. I think that's a sit up, because that's something similar that Young Thug brother had, and then when he got out, he ended up getting in trouble, and now he's back in prison. So I think when it comes down to plea deals like that, a 20-year sentence with 7 years to serve, and then 2 years served, and now he only has to do 5 years. I think that's a setup. Why? Because with Nichols, and I discussed about it, with some people before, with Nichols, and I don't know if you guys looked it up. With him, he comes from a quite some humbling background,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
heard that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so my question is, did the system fail him?
Mm-hmm.
Because people really bashed me when I said that, because they was like, well, you do the crime, you do the time. But my thing is, if his mother passed away when she was in prison, his dad was got popped by Atlanta PD, okay, when he was just 4. I'm just gonna be honest. He didn't have a mother, he didn't have a father. I mean, it's the grace of God. He's still breathing and living and talking to say his name is Mr. Nichols. So so it's like, it's kind of just wow, all this is going on. And the judge, I think she's frustrated, and she's pointing fingers out at the wrong people right now.
At the wrong people.
So I just want to just say that, and you know what, you keep doing what you're doing. You're not doing anything wrong.
I didn't think I was. I'm not going to second guess myself, but I don't think I was. All right, I'm sorry. Not this other guy was up there. Did you leave?
Testing. Did I mute myself?
No. You here? Okay, hold on. Let me bring him up real quick. He's here. Hey, what's going on? KMB Parlay. Jesus. You're unmuted. Oh no, you're
Am I muted still?
Nah, my bad. Hey, good afternoon. I mean, good morning, everybody. I didn't mean to intrude on y'all. I'm just trying to make sure I was in here straight. But Mr. Byron, Miss Al-Shabazz, I'm in Chicago, so it's the morning still for me. So
that's right. Okay, Chi-Town.
But yeah, I mean, and I'm sorry I didn't interrupt you. I just let y'all finish, and I got some questions for you.
You good? Go ahead.
All right. So my first question to you, Mr. Byron, is were you not aware that the judge put in a warning to everybody when Miss Sylvia got reprimanded the first time, or her Rule 22, when she was making nicknames of the jurors?
What should I have been aware of? What part?
When the judge reprimanded Miss Sylvia for giving nicknames to the jurors. She gave a warning to all the media that day. Were you there that day?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. The second question was, were you aware that the judge also said she didn't want no recordings of the bench no more, and why that was done?
Of the bench? No, what she said was when
she said no more bench recordings.
No. So, and that's known for anyone who had a Rule 22 in the courtroom knows that when the judge leaves the bench, you don't record. That's 101 for those who have been holding the Rule 22. You don't shoot the bench. Once the judge walks off, it's not a official proceeding until the judge comes back on. So it kind of pauses. So I don't do that.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. My mic went out for a minute.
Right, I think I answered your question. So yeah.
No, you answered my question. So when there's a picture that surfaced, right? When your picture surfaced, right? I think that's what caused this all. And then also Miss Sylvia, she was also caught in her own right as well. And I feel like you shouldn't be so upset about it though. You know what I mean? Like, this is what the prosecutor's been wanting to do. They've been wanting to limit the media. You just a pawn in their game. And it's just unfortunate that you fell right into their hand. And we talked about this on Twitter. You let a sergeant give you an order when a general told you not to do something in front of the ops, and you expect a different result. And you know this. Right?
Well, listen.
But the pictures you're talking about are stills. They're not recordings. They are not the subject of this order.
But listen. When you take a picture, I understand what you're saying. The picture, you said so when you take a picture, right? You capturing a moment in time, correct? You're making a record of time. You're recording that moment in time. Are you not? No. They're getting you on it. Yeah, you are.
Not according to the court. It's a recording. Recording devices, I think, are limited to things that capture recordings.
I get what
a recording I understand what you're saying. A recording is anything that can capture a moment in time. You took a picture. Now listen, you took a picture in front of a prosecutor that can be misconstrued. What?
False. That's false right there. No prosecutor was in the court. He's in front of a prosecutor. I want to clear that up because you weren't there. So don't talk like you got the facts.
Oh yeah. And you're totally right. And I do apologize. This is just a heated conversation. That's healthy between men.
We don't need to be heated.
No, I mean it does need to be heated because it's really one. It's an infringement on the First Amendment. I do think you have a lawsuit on your hands, but you just have to play. You can't. I just feel like you're going about it the wrong way, and that's just my personal opinion. If I was in your shoes, instead of being outside, instead of going inside the courtroom, now is your time to really start bringing people to the courtroom for you. You take one, now you got 50, and I just feel like that's the way it should be. Like, and that's what other journalists should be rallying against you if they agree.
We talked about that.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I feel like instead of saying, "Oh, whoa, I didn't do anything wrong," F it, stand your ground, put it down in paper.
Well, hold on. You can't tell someone who's built a career over 20 plus years, 30 years, and tell them to say F it when someone takes an attack on your reputation. It's easy for someone who doesn't have the 30 years invested versus. Let me speak. It's easy for someone that don't have the 30 years that they invested in the time that I have invested in to tell me to just F it. I haven't F'd it this long. I'm not going to just F it now.
No, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Byron, and this is where I feel like people like myself should be encouraged to take risks. You have 30 years of experience. You had the nerve to have some weird cartoon-looking lady named Megan Kudim call you a YouTuber?
Right, that part. Did you catch that?
Yeah, like I got mad respect for you. Again, you run you run a respectable magazine for years. You put mad black people on. And and you in the courtroom, in the trenches, you gotta respect it. So with respect, iron sharpens iron. I gotta let you know when you're doing something that I wouldn't do as a man. When you've been reprimanded in court, you had your opportunity to speak, but you chose not to. You walked away. At that point, I'm thinking like you're plotting.
No, hold on. Plotting or planning is a difference.
And plotting and planning is the exact same thing. There is no difference.
No.
When you plot something out, you're plotting out a plan of action, correct?
Semantics. It doesn't
exactly.
matter.
It's the exact same thing.
But you were doing that. That's what he is doing.
But that's what I'm saying. I just feel like
I could be plotting too, but plotting has such a
negative connotation.
Right.
Why though? Why? Because we use it.
I like the plan.
That is by definition what connotation means, because that's how we use it.
Right.
If we're talking about the connotative definition, not the denotative definition. That's why
respect.
Professor online.
No, respect.
Professor.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. I saw someone pop up here. I apologize. Don't go nowhere, my brother. Don't go nowhere. Stay right there. John Hip Hill, what's going on? Unmute yourself.
What's going on there today, Dennis?
Good morning. Good afternoon. Where are you calling?
Good afternoon, sir. From PA.
PA. Okay.
Yeah. So look, man, I've been following this trial for a while, and I got an intelligent question that I want to ask. And because we have an attorney in the room that's respectable and honorable there, I figured what better time to ask.
All right.
So through this whole plea deal, I've had one thing on my mind, right? It's the leverage of all the people in the courtroom. So as a journalist who's been doing this for 30 years and as an attorney, I'm pretty sure you both would agree that while everyone else may see the judge kicking everybody out of the courtroom and allowing them to deal in the courtroom is a bad thing, for the defense attorneys, it's actually probably one of the smartest moves they can make, because there's the strength in the numbers. While each attorney has a responsibility to each one of their own clients to do what is best for them, they know that all of them being in that courtroom and overhearing what's going on and being able to discuss it with the other attorneys and say, hey, they're offering this person 15-5 and they're offering this person 20-7. And, maybe we have a little bit of wiggle room. But with the Nichols offer now out and done, I feel like it puts more pressure on the defense attorneys. And it kind of looked like that through the recording yesterday. All of the attorneys look just a little bit mad because they know once that first person makes that first offer, like you always see in the movies, the first person that gets a deal gets the best deal. Because what people are forgetting is that Nichols can now be given immunity and forced to testify. Just because it's not part of his plea agreement that he has to, he's going to be in jail. He can't dodge a subpoena. So they're going to be able to subpoena him. They're going to be able to bring him into the courtroom. And if they give him the same immunity that they gave Woody, then he's forced to testify. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he's forced to testify, but he doesn't have anything over his head if he doesn't testify consistent to the way they want him to testify. So there's no incentive for them to have him testify, because they can't do to him what they did to the other defendants who were testing pursuant to their plea. So they bring him in under an immunity deal. He gets on the stand and he goes, I don't remember. There's nothing they can do. They can't then ask the judge to re-sentence him for more time, right? Like they did with the other guy. So there's no incentive for the prosecution to bring him back, because he doesn't have to testify in the manner that pleases them. Do you follow what I'm saying?
100%.
Okay.
And I think for the prosecutors, they got one more up on the board that they've convicted under this indictment. So they can say, hey, listen, we got, I don't know, what's the count of the people who actually took pleas?
I don't know.
I think it's up to
6,
6
7.
now.
I think
Yeah.
it's 7. It's 6 or 7 people.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
altogether there was
28?
28 on trial.
Something like that.
There's 12 still waiting to be charged.
Mhm.
There was 6 on this one.
One on
and
the one. One on the one.
one dropped. So yeah.
We also don't know. So one of the other considerations as a defense attorney, I'll tell you is, and I'm also a former prosecutor, is these prosecutors do not want to be left trying this case with D. Williams's client, right? So everybody else takes a plea and they left to try this case for the next 6 months with one guy. So you got to understand also that there's that dynamic that, listen, everybody needs to take a plea.
So mute your mic if you're not talking. I hear some noise in the background. Mute your mic, please.
Yeah. Everyone needs to take a plea. You know what I'm saying? Or
nobody.
Or nobody. Right. So the fact
as
that
of
this
right now,
one person took a plea leads me to believe that there's going to be a whole lot more pleas coming.
To me, I mean, the only 2 pleas that I see coming, honestly, is getting the 2 quads out the way, or quays. That's the only way that I see that the trial keep moving forward with a mistrial. I mean, unless it's a mistrial. Paige has no choice.
The judge wouldn't be taking a plea on a case that she's going to rule a mistrial on. I think that would be unethical. I think it would be unethical for her if she knows she's going to declare a mistrial to take a plea.
Well, that was Nichols who took the requested a mistrial. That's who it was.
Yeah,
I'm talking about. I'm thinking about the judge, though. I'm talking about the judge. I don't think she's poised to grant that.
But they also joined in that mistrial, though. Like what's his name?
All of them.
The other Quay joined on the second. After everybody.
Well, they have the Harvey rule in place, so
everyone's a part of the mistrial application. But
I'm just saying that he was the second one that stood up. Like, I have to say too. Like,
absolutely.
I also think that it wouldn't be unethical for the judge if, and again, we don't know what happens behind the scenes, so we're all just kind of speculating on,
of course,
what ifs.
Right.
But the if would be if, let's say, Love ran over to Fannie Willis's office and Fannie Willis said, look, go back and tell the judge that as an agent of the court, if she grants a mistrial, we are stating right at this moment, we will rebring this case. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, that's
so
of course.
Yeah, so if they made that statement to the judge, then the judge wouldn't be unethical because the judge knows, okay, this isn't maybe I grant a mistrial and maybe they don't. They have now said it to the judge on the record, because everything you say to the judge is on the record, that they will rebring this case. Well, we all know that, we all know the back room.
Right. A lot of that.
We all know the ex parte.
Yeah.
Right.
And those sidebars that don't get recorded. That happens often too.
Right.
Right. Reporter doesn't come to the sidebar.
And sometimes it's intentional. And I always wonder why is it not taken down? Why are you not taking this down?
If you don't request it, the court doesn't seem to mind having these side conversations from
But you guys got to understand, like, them sidebars was being recorded. Like, I've been watching this trial since jury selection, like 2 years ago now. This is crazy.
Right, but the sidebars, even if they are recorded, we wouldn't be privy to them.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, like, before you wouldn't hear no audio or nothing like that, but you can at least see them talking.
Right now, that you can't even do that. Right,
they took that away. You know what I'm saying? So
folks in this day and age know how to read lips.
Exactly, and they took that away because of Miss Love. The day that Miss Love got admonished badly, I think it was the day that she was wearing like red or something like that.
Right.
Not the yellow day. I'm talking about the red day. You know what I'm saying?
I shot the red or the yellow. I think I shot both.
And that's crazy. And she got admonished both them days, and you were present both them days, so that makes sense that she will go after you and Miss Sylvia, because Miss Sylvia ain't doing nothing but doing a little YouTube channel. Right. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to all the YouTubers out there.
Absolutely.
I watch all of them and you. So at the end of the day, man, I feel like it shouldn't be a woe is me moment. I think it should be okay. We understand the objective. This is how we're gonna counteract that, because you can't be a pawn on the chessboard forever. You're a reporter. You are the voice of the people.
That's right.
If you look at the chessboard, you like the bishop. You can move anywhere you want diagonally. You just got to get the people around you.
That's right. I agree with you. I love chess.
I agree with that as well. I think that was a beautiful analogy.
And I will challenge you.
You're a minor piece, Dennis.
I'm a pawn
too. I play. Yeah, the bishop is a minor piece.
Listen.
I'm just throwing that out there.
It's a minor piece.
Yeah, nothing can stop the queen. Nothing can stop the queen.
Hey.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's get these rooks out.
Rook's not a minor piece. Rook is a 5-point piece.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We will stop you. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Who that? Oh, there you go. You popped up.
Politics.
Go ahead.
My question. I want everybody. I'm really wondering. Do you guys really think Jeffrey Williams would take a plea deal?
Yes.
And if so, what would the plea deal be? Because
I think he takes a plea deal. He doesn't have
felony.
He doesn't have any priors, from what I understand. He could take a plea to something that would give him time served, right? So if they were to give him a sentence where, let's say he did I don't know how the way they do these, the way they did that 27, let's say they do a 10-2, right? Where he takes a plea for 10 years, but he's got to do 2. He's already got 2 in, and he'll be on probation for 8 years. I could see him taking that.
I would agree with that too. And I think the problem is all of us non-attorney people, sorry about that. All of us non-attorney people, we've been watching the trial and we kind of all have our own opinions, and they may all differ, but I feel like watching Nichols' plea offer, if you heard what Harvey said, Harvey's been the biggest proponent that his client, all throughout the trial, he said, my client ain't do nothing. I don't even know why we're here. We shouldn't even be part of this. But then come time to the plea offer, he says, hey, they already proved RICO, and they proved he was part of that conspiracy. So he even kind of admitted, like, hey, look, we've already proven this RICO count. And so I feel like no matter what, I think at the end of the day, the state wants everyone to at least plead to the RICO counts.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That is definitely what I believe. They want to at least get that RICO out there to give it some
and then
validity.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the Shannon Stillwell. I felt like they let Nichols off the line, and they kind of even hinted towards it during the plea, where they said, look, we have him on camera meeting up with Shannon. We have him following Shannon to the scene of the murder, and he was present for it. So he did conspire with him to at least go do it, but he didn't actually commit the murder. So we're willing to let it go for him. But I feel like for Shannon, he's the only person they can stick with that murder. Yeah. And if they let it go, then the Drinks family doesn't get justice.
Right.
And they're going to have to refile that one. So I think at the end of the day, Shannon, I understand we all have our own opinions, but I think at the end of the day, Shannon could be the lone holdout, because he could go like, hey, look, I'm not copping to a murder because that's a guaranteed amount of time that I'm not getting out. But that might be the only person where they go, hey, look, you have to say you did this.
D. Williams's client is that, what's his name?
Lil
Rod.
He already has a murder sentence, a sentence for murder that he's serving, right?
Right.
Yeah, he already pled to his.
He is the least incentivized to take a plea in this case.
Exactly.
He is the one who is the least incentivized, not Shannon. It's him, because he's already doing life.
I mean, but honestly, I don't think they proved anything, in my opinion. Like, this is all alleged. Like,
all of this
is alleged. They didn't prove not one thing.
I would agree with you, but for purposes of a plea, right? When Harvey is trying to assuage the court in a way that this plea can go through without his client admitting to any violence. He's going to do some things and say some things so that he can get this plea through. His client has to legally and factually allocute. That means satisfy the elements of whatever crime he's pleading to. So he has to admit that those elements have been satisfied. Otherwise, the plea can't go through.
Exactly. And the one biggest thing about it being the RICO count is that you have to remember he kind of kept saying like, oh, he's not agreeing to the gang related charges.
Right.
But part of the RICO is part of that is him having to admit that YSL is a gang, because that's a part of that RICO count. So by him taking that plea, he's admitting that YSL is a gang. He's admitting he was a part of the gang, and he's admitting.
Yeah, but so we've got plenty of testimony from plenty of witnesses already that YSL is a gang. It's not a crime to be a gang. It's not a crime to be in a gang.
But Monica made a point. He pled out to a drug, which is part of the RICO.
Right.
Right, the drugs.
Exactly. And his was weird because he got caught with drugs, he got caught with packaging for drugs, so they hit him with distribution. But now pleading it as part of the RICO, he is saying I was doing that for the gang. And that's where that's where the RICO comes in.
Right.
So and for the state, that's another checkbox.
But
it's not.
I thought Harvey straight up said this. He did this. He didn't do anything violent. He's only copping to the drug related charges for the distribution that they found on him. Right. So
and it's not a checkbox because this evidence has already been before the jury, and none of this plea will be before the jury. None of it.
I think it's even worse. The jury gonna come back and see a person missing. Like what
so
the
that's
hell
my next
going
thing.
on?
So under the federal rules, which Georgia follows, the court has to give some sort of limiting and or curative instruction so that the jury doesn't speculate as to where defendants have gone. Right? Because when they come back into the courtroom, if they should come back into the courtroom, and one or more defendants are no longer part of this case, they are going to wonder what happened to them. So the court has to instruct them that they are not to speculate as to where they are, and they are not to draw any negative inference, meaning they are not to think, oh, because they're not here, they must have took a plea, they must be guilty. Right? The court is going to admonish the jury that they should not draw any negative inference that these people are no longer in court.
And how much does the jury get paid each day to be there?
$25.
How much?
$25 a day. That's it.
So I have a little bit of an issue with this, and a lot of people have been saying this, and it really kind of got me, right? So I want everyone to kind of remember, and the lawyer in the room can back me up on this. When Glanville was, everyone brought this up, that, oh, they only get paid $25 a day. But if you remember, 3 different jurors all had problems with their job, telling them that they weren't going to pay them. And he said, Georgia law is that when you are on a jury, your job cannot fire you, and they must continue to pay you while you are on active jury. So not only are they getting paid from the court, but if they had a job, they are still being paid by their job. That's just the law.
I don't know that law in Georgia, and I don't know if it applies to every employer. It may apply to government employees. It may apply to employers that have 50 or more employees. You know, it may imply, because if I'm a solo and I got one person working with me, and that person goes off to jury duty for 6 months, I could be bankrupt trying to pay them and still run my business without them.
Exactly.
Right? So I can't imagine that that's the rule for every type of employer, but I could be wrong. I don't practice in Georgia. I'm a New York lawyer.
100%. But we can also we can make the inference.
Hold on. This is why I love having chats. and smart people in the chat. C. Jackson says Georgia law only requires you to not get fired, meaning that they can't fire you. It doesn't require that they also pay you. So they may keep you on
That's what it is.
as an employee, but they don't have to pay you. Just your job will be there when you get back. That's
okay. Well, hey, look, if that's the law, that's the law.
Yeah, that sounds.
There you go. But I also feel like but I also feel like we can make this inference, right? How many times did we hear, or do we hear prior to jury selection, whenever anybody's talking about picking a jury, they always say we have to weed out those with that it would cause financial hardship.
Correct.
All of these jurors were told that they were going to be on this jury for over a year. It's not like this trial, when the trial started, they lied and said it's only going to be 6 months. They told them this could last for up to a year and a half. So all of these jurors had multiple chances to stand up and say, hey, I may be able to keep my job. I may not get fired, but I'm not getting paid. So I'm going to wind up, missing out on whatever the may be.
Well,
so I think
it's not just the jobs. These people have lives. People don't factor in their life to spend a year on jury duty, even though the judge may say that it doesn't sink in until you actually have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it. About the things that you do when you're not at work. You want to pick up your dry cleaning. You got a doctor's appointment. You want to go to the dentist. You got to take your pet to the groomer. Like the shit that you do when they can't do any of that.
And the family emergencies, all of us that have kids, we know you get that phone call from the school about your kid. You got to go, and you can't do that.
Or unforeseen expenses, right? Your car broke down.
Exactly.
Or you got a medical emergency that the insurance is not going to cover. There's any type of thing that could derail your plans to do your civic duty. But I'm not sure what your point is with respect to the jurors. Do you think they're going to stop showing up?
No, my point was, I think people are playing too much into like, oh, well, the jury, the jury is going to be mad because of this, or the jury isn't getting paid, so it's going to make them more angry. I feel like jury came into it knowing what they were getting into, and I could be completely wrong on this. But my man has been following since jury selection. So if you tell me I'm wrong, I will 100% say you're right.
No, I don't think they was told that this case was going to last to a year and a half, because no judge can foresee this case being a year and a half. That means that
the judge didn't have time. Judge Glanville did say on the record.
I thought it was 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, he did say something like that.
He said 6 to 9 months. This case turned out to be almost twice that. So
they never came in thinking it was going to be the longest trial in Georgia. They never came in signed up for that.
Nobody signed up for that. So and for the jurors,
I have no life.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as like the jury, like them, I feel like this is. I'm just giving the grounds for my belief for grounds for a mistrial. The jury gonna come back. They already in the conditions that they in. They get removed they get herded in and out of the courtroom like cattle. They look like sheep coming in and out of there. It's bad.
Especially under Glanville.
Especially Glanville era. Glanville era was priceless. Uncle Phil was great.
The comfort breaks were the worst.
Uncle Phil was the greatest.
Think about day one opening arguments. What are you showing this for?
Right.
What are you doing?
Like day one should have been a mistrial. Like I think so far I could be wrong, but there's been like 37, 38 mistrials.
No, it's about 50.
Motion.
About 50?
But you know, I'll say 50, but you know what though? And with the lawyer in the room, she'll attest, just like Steele said, you got to preserve your arguments. And we all know Steele is the #1 appeals lawyer in Georgia. Yeah. He's the #1 appeals lawyer in Georgia. So all of those mistrials, most of them came from Steele, because Steele knows, hey, if I don't make this now, I can't make it later in front of the Supreme Court or the Superior Court or whoever. So it's most of those is Steele going, hey, look, as a good appeals attorney, I know everything needs to be objected to. Steele would object to the color of your socks if he felt like there was grounds to it.
You got to preserve the record.
I feel like that's love. She the objection queen, man. Like,
yeah,
objection,
she's not objecting for the same purpose. She's not objecting to preserve the record. She's objecting to obstruct.
Exactly.
She's objecting to interrupt your line of questioning. She's objecting to distract you from where you're trying to go. She's objecting to cue the witness on how to answer. You know what I mean? She's got a lot of different little reasons for her objecting, but it's not for the reasons it should be.
So this is my question.
And go ahead.
My question is, well, what was the whole reason them bringing in the guy? I think his name is Christian Eppinger.
Right.
What was the point of bringing him if he already has received a sentence of 64 years?
They brought him in to bring in his Twitter records. They brought him in because they needed him to get in his Twitter records and they've said it the entire case. Both Glanville and Whitaker have said it. The defense has refused to stipulate to most things. So they won't just say, okay, yeah, we know there's a guy named Christian Eppinger and we know you can bring him in to say these are his Twitter records, but we want you to bring him in because we want to question him. And then most of the times the questions.
So let me just respond to that really quickly, right? Because as a defense attorney, while we understand that there may be some judicial efficiency by stipulating to certain points of evidence, we also understand that the prosecution, they need to prove their case. It's your burden, and we don't want to help you. So in some regards, it looks like or feels like you're helping them when you stipulate to things. No, prove your case, because what happens is, and this has been my situation. There have been times where I haven't stipulated and everyone in the courtroom is like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you stipulate? It's something so innocuous. And then they actually have to bring a witness on. And then that witness tells me some shit that they've been hiding.
Exactly.
And then you call holding the bag.
Right. So this is why you don't stipulate, especially with this prosecution team, who has been known for withholding evidence doing all types of things to the jury, making suggestive statements and
showing
comments,
pictures behind their back.
Yeah, all of that. All of those things that this prosecution is doing. Like this.
So now
exactly.
I thought about it, guys, because you know where I sit at in the courtroom, I'm literally right behind
the prosecution.
Love the whole defense on the prosecution table. So I see things with a camera and the big lens. They scared of Big Bertha. That lens zoom in and catch criminals.
Yeah, and you gotta know you a target, Byron. That's what makes me so upset, like, about this whole situation. Like, they didn't. You obviously can tell by what Love and with them the prosecution was asking for from the judge. I don't want to have the camera at the judge's table no more. If the jury is coming in, it should be recording the jury coming in. They was late telling you guys not to put somebody on camera. They tried to blame you guys for putting somebody on camera when it was them on the live stream because of their Zoom. Like these are red flags.
I wasn't in court that day when that happened. I'm like, wait a minute. We thought it was the cameraman. And it was literally their monitor. So they switched the monitor.
Wow.
Okay. Show who.
Yeah, they try to blame y'all. Like, that don't make any sense. And when you say y'all, I have to say all the media. And that's why I feel like that's why I have no respect for what Megan did, because you can't. Media is media. If you YouTube, you vlog, you're still getting the message out to the people. If you like to write it down, tweet about it, you still getting the message out to the people. Or if you do a video, because again, I do digital cinematography. That's me. I capture the story and bring it to the people. Right. You know what I'm saying? But that don't discredit my art. Don't discredit the way I disseminate information. Absolutely. And when we do it amongst each other, it's disgusting. You know what I mean? So instead of like, no, it wasn't me, it was them. Like, let's just stand together.
I agree with you. And to your point, during the Tory Lane, and I have to just go there. During the Tory Lanez trial, it was a distinction made between journalists and YouTubers, and they too made that distinction. And now today we see this lawsuit by Megan Thee Stallion against this is she's going all the way in, because I got wind of this a while back that this was going to happen.
Blogger.
And now she's going in on
so is she suing in federal court or state court? That matters. Federal court.
But they
of course she's gonna sue in federal court, man. I'm not messing with Rock Nation. Respectfully, I'm not gonna say nothing disparaging. I love Rock Nation. Rock Nation is great. Jay-Z, awesome. I don't want no problem with you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the Super Bowl, my brother. Keep on pushing.
You made a good point.
The last one standing. I don't want no problem with Mr. Jay-Z. I know who Mr. Jay-Z got around him. Mr. Jay-Z's been around for a long time. You gotta leave Mr. Jay-Z alone.
Okay.
You got Miss Beyonce right next to him. We gotta leave them alone.
Yeah, this,
you know what I mean?
We're not bothering them. We don't want no smoke with them.
This is going to cost over $1 million to litigate. I mean, this they're going to bring this. She's going to drag it into courtroom. It's going to be like Cardi B. And I can see this playing out, but I don't know.
My question is, what are they trying to get? What's their prayer for relief?
Yeah,
what would they like?
Yeah,
honestly,
because I don't know.
What she needs right now is record sales, because her album kind of like
I don't know if Milagros can help her do that.
I think that's gonna be.
I was about to say
what she's looking for. Publicity.
I think she's looking for the publicity. There you go.
Oh,
it's the publicity of saying, "Hey, I sued and she was wrong."
Okay.
Well,
what it's giving? To be honest,
what's it giving?
It's giving a junior version of Tasha K and Cardi B. That's what it's giving. I'm just being honest.
A little bit, but not really though. I mean, Tory Lanez, he got, like I said, every man got a right in court. He was found guilty, so right now he's a man that has to suffer that guilt. But he has his day in court of appeals, and they is gonna see he gonna get his day in court. So we just gonna have to see, man. Like, I don't like speaking on, especially. I don't like speaking on like situations like what they got going on, because especially when it has something to do with a man and a woman, and especially a black man and a woman, they already looking to like take that narrative and run with it. And the fact that we already divided as much, you know what I'm saying? Like, we divided right now as people, like men and women right now is not seeing eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to this election that we got going on. Yeah. But it is what it is. But we can't be ignorant. We got to see what's going on. We got to see through the BS and see the game that's being played. And that's the problem. And that's what happened in the courtroom. And they got you. They got you, Byron.
Well, they didn't really they really didn't get me, because I wasn't going there every day now. So, I got but it's the point what she did. Let's see, then someone just sent me a message. Stand by. Okay. John asked that question. John, I just saw your message.
No problem.
I got my screen sweat. But thank you guys for coming up. Anyone has any more questions for Ike? Attorney Shabazz, Professor Shabazz?
Yeah, I just quickly. I don't think that Tory Lanez the appeal has any merit. I don't think it has any merit. I don't. From what I'm reading, I don't think that his lawyers are making a claim of actual innocence in the appeal. I don't think they're making that claim. I think that part of their appeal is there should have been certain evidence presented that wasn't, which is not anybody's fault, but that defense who decided not to present that evidence that was available to them at the time.
Right. Bring Quan in.
When you make an appeal, right, you can't say, hey, there was evidence at the time, but I just chose not to use it. And you know what? It didn't go my way. So like, let me do it again. Cause I this time I'm going to use the evidence. You know what I'm saying? Cause no, that's not how the law works. That's not how it works. Were your lawyers overconfident? Did they think they had this case in a bag so much so that they didn't think they needed to present a defense? And they were wrong. Sometimes you miscalculate, right? And unfortunately, they don't go to jail for their miscalculations. But you do.
Yeah, I ain't never been to jail, and that's a good reason for that.
You don't want to go there.
I've
been to jail. I've been to jail on a visit.
Hey,
I didn't like that. I don't like
drove
that.
past one.
And
I drove past one
I get special privileges because I'm doing a council visit. So I don't have to go through the regular rigmarole. And I've been through the regular rigmarole when going on a regular visit. I don't have to go do that. But either way, it's not a pleasant experience.
But what you just said, but hold on, Byron. I just got a question from Miss Al-Shabazz. You just said that you feel like the appeal has no merit.
Yeah.
Or you feel like it has no merit for the state, right? Because for the defense, I feel like this is gold. Like once this trial is for the defense.
You talking about for Tory Lanez?
Oh, I thought we was going back for we was going back to the Young Thug thing. We had
YSL. Oh yeah. No. I think so. I think if they somehow eke out, and I say eke out a guilty verdict, it will be absolutely overturned on appeal.
Most definitely, it's too many grounds.
I 100%
so that's another
agree.
consideration.
I think there's too many.
Hang on, guys. There's another consideration for someone who is taking a plea or thinking about taking a plea, right? Because if you are going to wait for the appellate process, that means you are willing to sit in jail until that process plays out. That is a huge prospect for a lot of people and their families. So I say to you, as the defense attorney, I come to you, here are your options. You can take this plea now, and I might be able to get you out in the next now to 6 months, right? Or you don't take a plea. We finish this trial. You know that you didn't get a fair trial. It likely will be overturned. It can't guarantee you, but it's a high probability it'll be overturned. But then they might want to try it again. And if they do that, you will sit in jail for the length of that whole time. That could be years. I'm not trying to do so a lot of people don't really understand what these people are faced with, what their prospects. It's not like they have a bail. Things are different, and you have a different approach to your case when you are at liberty. You can make some different decisions, right? Because you can still work, you can still provide for your family, you can't do any of those things when you are incarcerated. You can't even fully assist in your own defense. You think Thug can really, really help Steele in the way he would be able to help him if he was out?
One day we making more money to pay his attorney and do more things.
That too. But that's what prosecutions want. They want these people to not be able to hire people like me, who's going to show up and kick the door in. They want that. So that's often part of the plan. Let's make sure that they don't have money to hire a lawyer. Let's make sure they don't have money to make bail.
You know, the prosecution was happy that 2 cameras out the courtroom. You know that.
That's a win, and that's the only win for the prosecution.
It is
the fact that they was able to get y'all out. The way, like that's 2
less eyes on the fuck shit that they're doing. That's right. Less eyes, less people to capture the mumbling, the showing of photographs to the jury impermissibly, all of the nonsense that they do at that table. All of it.
All that.
And hopefully after this trial, man, I hope you come out with everything that you was hearing behind the scenes, dog. I really do. Like, that's how you capture your word. Like, okay, y'all want to kick me out? Bet. On this day, this is when y'all messed up. You know what I'm saying? And just know, like, real ones know, like, what was going on. Like, people don't allow them to rewrite history, and that's you gave them a opportunity to rewrite history, man. And that's and you can't stand for that.
I said this to the organizer for the protests in Atlanta. She was telling me how they gave her a section to where she can protest at. I said, they gave you an area where you can protest at? That's not really protesting if you protest it in the box they create for you. That's not protest.
Well, it's called peacefully protesting.
That's peacefully protesting.
That's what peaceful protest is.
But that's not what America was bid on.
Right.
That's not what we was made on.
And you are relegated to a particular area. That's the peaceful protest. If you weren't doing a peaceful protest, you wouldn't have got a permit. You just go out there. You don't ask anybody.
You can have a peaceful protest and still move in the areas you want to move in. That's my point. Don't let them create your design for your protest. You can walk. They put it on a corner in one block. And
it was sick.
Again, when you file for a permit to protest, then you should have put on there that we intend to move from this block easterly to this block and then northerly as a crow flies, right? Like, you should put that shit in there. That way they know exactly where you intend to be.
So you saying the only way you protect yourself during a protest, like being a part of a peaceful protest, is if that protest was properly organized? That's isn't that the whole like premise against the protest? I don't think people who go on strike, they gotta.
Right. I get your point. That's my point.
Strikes are organized as well.
That's
Strikes are well organized.
Yeah, I was.
They organize within the people, but they're not going. They're not going where they're telling them where to go.
They're not getting advice from the ops.
Yes, they are.
Exactly.
Yes, they are.
We're talking civil disobedience, right? And so I get it. If you're going to engage in an act of civil disobedience, then you should expect to be arrested, and you don't need a goddamn permit to do that.
Right. Exactly.
That's a different thing. You're gonna.
The question is, were they prepared to do civil disobedience?
Mm-hmm.
How does that look? And knowing what Rice Street looks like now,
protesting without a permit.
Yeah, no,
protesting in the places where you say they were, out of those places where they were corralled away from. Right. That's it. That's an act of civil disobedience.
Exactly. And even to your point, when you see someone strike, like let's say, you see someone walk off the job and they decide that they're going to strike. If you ever watch it from the beginning, you will see the police show up and go, hey, we're not trying to infringe on your right, but you're blocking the sidewalk. You need to let other people walk through. So if you just move back, we'll let you do whatever you want, as long as you keep it so that other people's rights aren't infringed.
Right. You can't interfere with traffic and things of that nature. That's what brings the cops. Right. You interfering with nature. You are traffic. You're blocking businesses.
Service. Yeah.
Things of that nature. I get that. But that's the whole point.
I do know.
The point of civil disobedience is you want to cause a disturbance.
There was a strike at the ports, right? There was a strike at the port. I think it lasts like maybe
5
a
minutes.
day and a half.
It was 5 minutes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think every time. That's what I'm saying.
It was enough to get people out to buy paper towels. It was enough to affect your Pavlovian response. It was enough to do that.
We're responding quicker now at post-pandemic.
Exactly.
I meant to ask you. Excuse me, guys. I meant to ask you. You said you have you ever taken that bus ride, or not the bus ride? Yeah, the bus ride over to the Rikers Island. Over to Rikers Island.
I can drive over. I have taken the bus. But I also can drive as an attorney. I get a pass to drive over that bridge when I'm
actual jail.
So yes, the answer is yes. I've been both on the bus, on a public bus, and I have driven.
And being on that bus in the wintertime is something else.
Well, let me just say, I'm a native New Yorker, and I grew up in a tough neighborhood. So back in the day when I was in my date drug dealers phase, I was on the bus regularly on the VI to Rikers.
That's the visit.
You don't know my story. Shit, it's been long in Windy Road. I have been on the bus. What's your question, Dennis, about the bus? That is cold.
That's cold. But then, how was that experience versus because I don't know personally, but Atlanta, traveling over that bus over the bridge, and people don't. When you look at Rikers Island versus Fulton County Jail, it's like this is like Attica. It looks like Attica or
okay. See, I don't know. It's Fulton. I don't know what Fulton County Jail is, but Rikers is an island. That in and of itself should tell you, right? It's an island, and at any given time, I think the capacity is 10,000 inmates. It's not a nice place. You don't want to be there. You don't want to have to go there.
Is that where they're talking about sending Diddy?
No. Rikers is a city facility. Diddy's in the feds.
Federal.
Yeah, he's in a federal facility.
He's in a bad place now, but
and with Tekashi 6ix9ine gonna be in the same spot.
Well, they just they are currently at the MDC where Diddy is. They are currently now doing a whole investigation into whether or not prisoner death, drugs coming in through guards, different type of paraphernalia coming in, fights, So they're doing all these investigations now in an effort to make the jail safer. And I think that that's directly in relation to the argument that Sean Diddy's lawyer is going to make at the next bail application, which is going to include that the MDC is a facility that's not suitable for anyone. And so that should be a factor the court should consider in his release.
So outside looking in, do you think Diddy did it?
Did he did it?
I don't think it matters.
I mean, I think it do. And I'm gonna tell you from just outside.
You're asking an attorney, so I'm gonna I have to answer like an attorney. I have to answer as an attorney. Like
I got you.
Right. It doesn't matter. Right. So when it comes to the law,
like let's just say I was a juror in this, right? Just say hypothetically.
Okay.
I would have to weigh everything. I understand that Diddy has a lot of money. I also understand that powerful black men unfortunately do get targeted. I also do know that in the hip hop culture, I grew up on the Tip Drill video. So I can only imagine on the Tip Drill video.
Tip Drill video. What's that?
Nelly, okay.
Tip Drill, Nelly.
We're gonna go back. Let's
stop acting like you know what the fuck he talking about.
I know Tip Drill.
Hey, he knows exactly what
right now.
But anyway, that's the era that I grew up on. So that's hip hop, right? So that's what they've been depicting. So I can only imagine what the parties be like when the cameras be off.
Right.
This man has been hip hop for almost 30 years, 40 years. We watched seasons of people leave and Diddy still be here. And the fact that he has rubbed shoulders with leaders, politicians, CEOs, just people that's not normally who look like us, that come from where we come from. And because at the end of the day, man, he came from your area. Where you at?
Right. So how does that inform you as a juror?
Me as a juror, I understand also the mindset of people nowadays. Like people do stuff for a payday. You mean to tell me after you get arrested for this, we've all seen what he did with Cassie. That is unfortunate. But I've also watched What's Love Got to Do with It. I know that's something that happens. Unfortunately, domestic violence is a sickness in America, and unfortunately, Diddy was bit by it.
Right.
That's why I thought, right, when there's a crime of passion between partners, you know what I mean? There is some leniency as far as the law. That's what I thought. Right?
What do you mean leniency?
Like the law looks at it different. Like you can't, like, instead of first degree murder, it would be like second degree murder because it's a crime of passion.
There could be some mitigation. There could be some mitigation. Yes. There could be some mitigation.
Because they was in a relationship. So at the end of the day, like, okay, we can outside looking in, we can say that Diddy is a bad dude to be like he needs help in counseling to help with his woman beatingness, right? That's wrong. We should not be putting our hands on women like that, period. Unfortunately, we've seen that. So after that happened, then now the investigation is going on. At the same time, it was an election. The same time Diddy started the voter die, whatever he started. You know what I'm saying? Like Diddy was a big dude in politics. So you mean to tell me after all of this, now they get him? Now they decide to get him? It's like they wait and choose just like I feel like the same thing with Lil Durk.
So
Lil Durk just got the key to the city.
Let me just say this. Prosecutors have the leisure to bring charges whenever they see fit. Whenever, so long as those charges are brought within the statute of limitations. That is the only constraint that they have. They have absolute
they
discretion.
have the keys to bring justice, period. So you
Say
mean to tell me if they have the keys to bring justice. If they choose not to,
they always have.
As they see fit. So
as they see fit. That's always that is one of the things that
if you got a corrupt justice or a corrupt prosecutor, is that man? That's a whole nother conversation.
So K and B, it's no so if you got a corrupt prosecutor. When you have a
thank you for correcting me.
When you have a corrupt prosecutor, yes, they can decide, I will prosecute these people. I will not prosecute those people.
Right.
Yes,
they do it every day.
It's within their discretion. And they do it all the time, which is why people that are black and brown people are overrepresented in the criminal justice system. That is a function of choices being made by prosecutors. People talk about the numbers. How the fuck do people think these numbers happen? There are people behind the numbers making decisions that result in black and brown bodies being disproportionately represented in the prisons. And this system is not broken. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do.
Right. Hold on.
Right. So, and let me just say this. Diddy is not charged with domestic violence. He's not. He's not charged with domestic violence.
Some wild stuff like kidnapping, trafficking,
some other very serious charges. And I'm still not clear. I want to come back to you though. I'm still not clear on how the list of things that you gave us, how that shapes your vote as a juror. Did that mean that you could not find this person guilty, or you could not find him not guilty?
Again, I would have to hear the case. I would literally have to hear the case.
So then you're no different than any other juror.
Because at the end of the day, right, when you say trafficking and what they're describing as trafficking, I don't see, like, that may not be trafficking to me, because you choose to pay somebody to come out and party with you. Like,
okay, so let me explain to you how jury duty works. It doesn't matter if it's trafficking to you.
It's what the law says.
Yes, it matters if it's trafficking under the law, the definition of which I'm going to give to you.
Please do, because this definition is wild.
No, this is what happens when you become a juror. You don't know when you swear to take the oath. You don't know what the instruction will be from the court at the end of the trial. You don't know what that instruction is going to look like. You take an oath that you are going to abide by whatever the instruction is, even if you disagree.
Exactly. And we haven't gotten there yet in the YSL trial, but that's something that's come up a lot, where they go, hey, look, we have to tell these jurors how they're going to find, this RICO count. Right now, us on the outside, we read the statutes and we read, what we can find. But the judge is actually going to sit down and tell the jurors, okay, hey, these are the 3 things you need.
Yes.
And this, let's say trafficking was one of them. They would give a definition and say trafficking is, let's say providing any compensation and moving someone across state lines for the sole purpose of engaging in sexual activity. So if they presented you with information that Diddy sent a message to a girl and said, hey, I'll fly you out here, and the reason I'm flying you out is for this sexual activity, that now meets that definition. So like she said, you're taking that oath that even though it may not be what your definition of trafficking was before you walked into the courtroom, you will listen to what the definition is and then apply the law the way it is written.
Let me give you an example. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Don't allow. I try to use this one. All right. So say, for instance, you were selected to be on a jury here in New York. It was someone is charged with selling narcotics, the sale of cocaine. You get picked on this jury and you sit down, and the testimony is this. This is for everybody. The testimony is this. Police officer observed person in the driver's seat, who was the defendant, hand over a tinfoil packet containing a white powdery substance to the person in the passenger seat. Cops moved in. Person was arrested. Person in the driver's seat was charged with the sale of a narcotic substance. Now, you don't know what sale means. You don't know the definition of sale in New York. You might think it means what traditionally and in common parlance it means. Then you get an instruction from the court. And the sale means to sell, exchange, give, or dispose of to another, or offer or agree to do the same. So no money exchanged, but under that definition, the driver sold cocaine to the passenger. And if you were a juror on that trial, under those facts,
I'll recuse myself.
So that takes me to my next point. Jury nullification is a thing in which the jury says, you know what, you did prove to me that this was a sale, right? Under the definition. But that shit just don't sit right with me, that I would charge someone who clearly looks like they were just going to party and he was just being generous and sharing his caring, right? Right? I can't hit somebody.
Like,
I know what a drug dealer look like, and this ain't it, right? Yeah, so jury nullification is when the jurors conscientiously say, you proved that case, but we're not about to find this person guilty. No, and they vote not guilty.
And I think that's where a lot of people are getting lost in the YSL trial with the RICO. Right? Like the RICO, there's really only 3 things that they have to prove. One, that the gang existed, right? And is that a gang existing is not illegal. 2, that you join the gang. And again, joining the gang is not illegal. But the third prong of that is where people are missing, that one or more people conspired to commit crimes in furtherance of the gang. And I felt like a lot of the crimes that they were bringing up, people just didn't know. The prosecutor didn't do a good job of connecting the dots, but I also feel like it was still early in what they considered their case, even though it's been going on for 9 months.
They need to prove overt acts, at least 2.
Exactly.
I think they need to prove at least 2 overt acts.
Exactly. And I feel like people were like, well, why are they showing these 2 people got into a fight at the club? Well, if they can prove, hey, look, I got into a fight and KMB jumped into that fight because it was against a rival gang, and we did it to defend our gang's name. Well, that was in furtherance of the gang. Even though it was just a fight, me and him got into a fight with 2 other dudes. If they can prove that it was in furtherance of the gang, that meets that RICO. That now becomes part of it. So even though to us on the outside, it seems like it's just a fight and it shouldn't have anything to do with this case, it's the underlying things of, well, it was against another rival gang. They were defending their territory because, like Woody said, he in there every Monday. If gang showed up on a Monday, I got into a fight with If gang because they knew they shouldn't have been there on a Monday.
Right, but it just seems like a stretch to me. It seems like there are a lot of standalone acts that they have just rounded up and are painting with a very broad brush. Saying
and I don't
that
think
these
that's
things
legal.
were done.
And that should be legal.
And I feel like they could have made this case because look at it like this. Diddy got hit with RICO. Diddy's hit with RICO right now.
3
right?
counts.
Yep. He's hit with RICO right now. We all listened in when they said, what did Diddy, what did the prosecution say? How long was their case going to take? And they said 6 weeks. We can prove RICO in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But you got YSL where they need 6 to 9 months, and now it turned into 6 to 9 years.
They need 6 years. They need 6 years. I agree, right? Jay. I think what my next point after the standalone acts that I think that they are bringing, that they are not in furtherance of any gang activity. They're in furtherance of these individual, whatever motivation they have seems to be individual. Right, doesn't seem like they're in furtherance of anything else. It's like, it's like you decided to rob somebody because you were short that day. It didn't have anything to do with why.
Exactly.
That's like saying the blood in California killed somebody. Now all the Bloods is a part of that RICO because that don't make any sense.
And the problem is, I think this whole trial would have gone a whole lot smoother if they would have stuck to 2 things. Yeah. They could have stuck to the If gang connected shootings and the YFN connected violence, because they brought on 3 witnesses who said, look, all of these shootings happened. These people were involved, and it was his family, then it was his family. So that shows that it was a gang shooting.
Back and forth.
And they retaliated because they were part of the same gang.
Right.
So that's
not what they proved, though. What they proved so far to me, looking in, is that all of this started over a female. That's
but
all
not
that they proved to me. Like
but
all of
not the
this.
retaliating shootings of people's houses, and that's what you got to remember. Look, if all this started over a female, you're not shooting up my grandma's house because of a female. You might shoot at me.
If you shot at me and you miss, and I find out that you at your grandma's house, what? What do you mean, bro?
But here's what happened.
Real life, bro. Let's talk.
But here's what
life.
happened. Okay, so here's what happened, right? So now you said my grandma. Why you shoot at my best friend's grandma? Is it because me and my best friend are in the same gang?
Because y'all's at the same house.
But
I know you frequent there. I got you know what I mean?
But that's where that gang statute comes in now, where now they get to say, well, wait, he only shot at his grandmom's house because his best friend is part of the same gang. So now it's a gang shooting. Or else you would have just kept it to my family. The moment you moved on to somebody else's family, now it's...
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that's not what they're...
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying I agree with it.
Proving to me, and to me, what they have proved is all of this started over a female.
Well, that was the...
and then once Lil Woody got beat up, Lil Woody is his own entity and issues. I feel like that's his own entity. He his own person, and he was just bitter at one point in time in his life. Thank God he repented. You know what I mean? Good for that man.
But the problem was, it wasn't just Woody, because the story was, and 3 different people told the story. Woody got beat up, but then 3 other people jumped in it to defend him. And the people who jumped in it on the other side were all If gang members. And he was, John, and all the people on his side were YSL.
Me and you are in the club. Me and you are cool. You getting your ass whooped in the club.
Yup.
I see that you getting your ass whooped. I go to help you. Now I'm in the gang. Me and you in the gang.
No. But that's where the proving that the gang exists and proving that you were a part of the gang. What if the day before me and you decided to say, hey, we John gang, and now we both put it on our Twitter. Now, yeah, you're part of the gang. And that's what they had to prove beforehand, was that all the people that helped him claimed YSL. See the difference?
Man, so what is connecting Doug to the acts of these various individuals, other than like there was a phone call made while he was in New Orleans, and they were in Atlanta, the bus shooting? That's not even connecting Doug.
I'll be honest with you, okay? And this is my own personal opinion, and if nobody agree with me, I'm perfectly fine with that, right? I feel like this whole case would have gone a whole lot better because I feel like Thug insulated himself very well. His sister had the phone that made all the calls and called all the shots. If you follow the whole trial, her name keeps getting brought up in connection with the phone that's in New Orleans, the phone that's in Miami. Wherever Thug goes, his sister is with him. And the phone that they're trying to say, look, this is Thug's phone. This is the one that after this shooting happened, they called this phone. Well, this phone was in the sister's hands, and it's in the sister's name under the business. So I feel like what connects him to all of this and they haven't proven it, is the connection to his sister was right there with the, let's call it, we all know you keep 2 phones, one for the plug and one for the load. So one phone was for business, the other one was for the streets. But the one that was for the streets wasn't his. So I don't think they connected Thug to all of it. The only thing they can say is that, look, he did claim he started YSL. So he did claim that he started the gang. So they got him on that. But like everyone has said, it's not illegal to be a part of a gang. It's not illegal to start the gang.
He can start it, but he can also remove himself early on. Like, listen, hey, I'm going to, this is what I do now. You guys want to keep up the name and you want to still.
And that's exactly what happened. Like, you can't, and this is what's really disturbing, right? Like when you mix hip hop business and the way hip hop moves, because I mean, Byron, you can attest to this. Like getting paid from promoters, getting paid to like from shows, having them conversations, being on the phone. Like there's a lot of things going on in the background that an artist has to take care of. And Thug had a manager, which is his sister. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't demonize what the manager is doing. Okay, if something he got phone calls during that time, that does not prove anything to me. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But you have to put yourself in the defense shoes and then put yourself in the prosecution shoes. Why is someone so closely connected to him, his sister, not always, taking calls around the time things are occurring, and she's with him? Why is that happening?
And
man,
then,
I can tell you exactly why. When somebody die out here in Chicago, you know how many times my phone rings for somebody to let me know? I'm not a part of shit.
True.
So what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything.
And that's the defense perspective. The defense perspective is, look, he grew up with all these people.
Exactly.
He knows they're out there doing all this stuff. So I don't think any of that really connects them. But what I always say is like this, right? We all remember growing up, and we always had that one adult in our life who said, hey, be careful who you keep around you, because what they do will come back and bite you. So the problem was, the moment he started YSL and then they went off and started, and let's say the defense is, well, look, they went off and started a gang. I went off and started a record label.
The state has proven that Young Thug didn't start YSL. It was 3 other people.
Well, no, because Woody said it was him and Thug.
No.
Woody said it was him and Thug in the picture, saying we started YSL. 2 of the 3 founding members.
See, I thought Tick said something totally different.
No. The picture they showed, it was a picture.
Let me just say that the point of all of this is that there is someone who is claiming also to be a founder, YSL Mondo, who is not charged.
There you go.
He is not charged, and that's
Connie's former client,
right?
And the thing is, if Thug at one point said, yo, you guys are getting too crazy, you know what, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna go do the music, but you're my brothers, I'm gonna keep in contact with you, I'm gonna still try to help raise you up. And that's what Steele's been saying the whole time. It isn't that
they reach out to Big Bro and do something stupid. Big Bro, they just
exactly.
That don't mean he's involved. This means that they calling for him. They need, hey, listen, we done did some stupid. Can you loan some bread? Whatever. And he just
and I think he's telling them no, and I still think he's telling them no, because I haven't seen $1 go to any of these people that's been on trial yet. I've seen money go to Woody and get taken back at the club. That's it.
True, but the problem is he also didn't do enough to separate himself from them.
Stand by, guys. Ike.
Yeah, I got to get out of here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so good talking to you too.
I appreciate y'all and your input. And Dennis, keep the fight, man.
Oh, we're fighting.
Yes. Keep hope alive.
And let me be up there on the YSL trial, the YSL case.
Are they on trial today? Are they coming back today?
No, I'm gonna give you an update right now. Stand by.
All right.
You ready? Nothing's happening yet.
Okay. All right, family. It's your girl Ike here. You know I love you. I really do. Yes. Y'all have a great day. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Peace.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying, I think that Thug just didn't do enough to insulate himself from them. It was like, look, I start YSL, I want to turn it into a record label. Let's say Woody said, well, I want to turn it into a gang. I want to get the streets behind you. So Thug go off, do music, Woody stay in the streets and get the gang stuff popping. The problem is Thug kept them too close. They all use the same name, so now you have this weird mashing between what was gang related versus what was music related. And especially when you have people who are in the streets doing street things, but trying to make it on the label. Now, when they say